Hashtag we're not a political channel, but one look at these executive orders and you can clearly tell they were written by AI. I got some proof, and maybe the reason behind all of these executive orders and the madness that might be closely but surely approaching. Let's get into it. Clap it. Dynamite. Hey, yo, what's up?
There's no meat. Chop right.
What's up?
There's no meat.
Oh, yeah. How you guys doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about something. It's truly fascinating how one of the most unproductive presidents, in the sense of being productive towards destroying something, but rather lack of production with just the amount of rake stepping. And for all you uneducated folks out there, rake stepping is when you step on a rake and you hit yourself. That's the premise. You get the idea. And the first time Trump was in office, he did a lot of rake stepping. His administration was unprepared. They were unqualified. This year, there seems to be a lot more structured guidance. And that's about it. Just guidance in what they want to do. And it seems to be their function is to cause mass hysteria at the top. But a slow undercooking time bomb is underneath doing its bidding. And I believe the way that they've been able to create so much pandemonium and panic at the top is because they, in large part, haven't had to do a lot of the heavy lifting because they have artificial intelligence. I and many other people are starting to believe that the Trump administration and onboarding process is strictly being used to cause distractions, and they're using artificial intelligence to do it. And I personally want to be the first one to step out and say we need to make some laws against this. You know, the first one is the Elect Act, which is the Elected Leaders Ensure Crafted Text Act, you know, basically making sure all of our officials do the work that they say they're going to do and they don't use artificial intelligence. I mean, I think that's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. But if you want to be a little bit more flamboyant about it, you could go with the Principal Act, you know, the Prevent Robotic Influence in National, Congress, Interior Office, Presidential Laws, and Executive Orders. You know, that's I'm not going to sit here and stunt. It took me, like this video might be 20 minutes. I could have been done 20 minutes ago. It took me forever to think of those two. And the reason why it took me forever is because I didn't use artificial intelligence. Creative, slick, witted, strong mind. These are not things that come to mind when thinking of Trump. But this is something that artificial intelligence is extremely good at doing. And it's also extremely good at being painfully predictable and mundane and bland. And based on how the executive orders were structured and what is going into them, it's very easy to see when AI is being used. In fact,
hey bro, I think I'm gonna head on in for the night. I'm kind of tired.
No problem. Get some rest.
Hey, didn't you work today?
12-hour shift.
And you went to the gym?
PR to 700 deadlift.
And you still got energy to do all this work? Where does the energy come from, bro?
I'm at my best when I have my zest, baby.
Get zest?
The Zest Super Berry Samba Green Tea comes packed with 135 milligrams of caffeine and L-theanine. That's how I stay focused for longer and stronger throughout the day with no crash. It's way better than coffee or any of those sugar-filled energy drinks out there. No GMO, gluten-free, and it won't stain your teeth.
Oh yeah, that sounds real good. Is this one right?
Yes, sir, that's the one. But my brother in Zest, I'm gonna need you to get your own Super Berry Samba Green Tea.
Selfish.
You mad, bro? Don't worry, I got you. Use my promotional code down below to get 20% off selected items and the subscriptions. That's Coding with Strangers, all one word. Put that in the checkout box and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much to Zest for the sponsorship. Gen Alpha and Gen Gamma are both have high identifying rates for being able to tell if something is fake. Their literacy is through the roof. So it's no shock that this is making headways, but I want you to understand the reason why it might seem vague or confusing might not be because of malice. It literally might be just because it's AI. Let's get into it, shall we? Trump's admin accused of using AI to draft executive orders. Mere hours after being sworn in, the 47th President of the United States, Monday, returning President Donald Trump got to work signing dozens and counting of executive orders which range from commands for the U.S. to withdraw from Paris Climate Agreement. We were never a part of it. So weird. But it's chum. And then the World Health Organization to ordering an end to birthright citizenship, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Birthright citizenship. That means I wouldn't be here no more. Damn, that's crazy. But while the executive actions range in scope, legal experts have called attention to some curious common threads, bizarre typos, formatting errors, and oddities, and stilted language. Familiar artifacts that have led to speculations that those who penned them might have turned to AI for help. Lots of reporting suggests that this time around, Trump and his lawyers would avoid the sloppy legal work that plagued his first administration. We just mentioned that. So they fare better in court. Slate journalist and legal expert Mark Joseph Stern said, I see evidence of this around the executive orders. Interesting. The poor slipshod work, he added before alleging the actions were obviously assisted by AI. And I don't think it's hard to, let me not make the premise that, who doesn't spell check their work? That's AI, right? That's some form of use of AI. But the fact that maybe there's an algorithm out there, this Project 2025 people might have, there's no doubt in my mind that this Project 2025 people didn't build an artificial robot for this. I'm pretty sure, man. Do you think it's on GitHub? Do you think they were crazy enough to leave the repository open on GitHub? Oh my goodness. GitHub. I'm gonna be super, not Project 2025. There is one. Missing index for the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025. Update URL point AP25. And Falcon. Where's the README for this? When was this made? This was 3 weeks, 5 months ago. A Docker file? Yeah. Here's the README. Chances of them writing anything of relevance? That's in the Docker file. Boring. Requirements text? Oh my. No, he does have a filter list for this. U.S. state organization? No shot. We just found the algorithm. No shot. Hold on. Wait, what? Okay. Executive orders. There's an HTML attached to this? Where is this shit at? I did not expect to find this. I did not expect to stumble into this. What? I had a hunch that someone made a bot for this. I did not expect to be satisfied of this hunch so quickly. That's the front end for the bot, the chat bot. Oh, where are they training this thing? Is it like in a pickle file or some shit like that? What's this? This is his image with the American flag. That's diabolical. And then he has like an itemized JSON file that's too big to be displayed. 6.58 megabytes or gigabytes. Sheesh. Well, okay, that was a tangent, but even if this isn't the one, the fact that there's one that's publicly available, there's definitely a market for it. I'm pretty sure someone did this, right? So we can rest assured that the algorithm was definitely used. And this is the example, right? Just want to look at the formatting of this. You can clearly see the formatting's off. This has nothing to do. The weird typos, formatting errors could lead to confusion down the road. If the Secretary of the Interior invoked his authority under section, 15(1) of this order, which of the 6 different subsections labeled 1 would he mean? Oh, even your tweet has a typo, so this goes to show you typos could happen. And my dyslexia wasn't the reason why I messed up. Clap it. And which number controls which subsection has 2 different ones? Yeah, so this is super confusing, and it would lead to ambiguity when dealing with these things. So I totally see that. Another post from Blue Sky yesterday, Houston-based appellate lawyer Rafiat Malkin called attention to a section of another new executive order titled Restoring Names and Honor American Greatness. We can look at this one directly. And I highlighted just some that just were glaring. For example, in section 2, it starts off here, but section A is part of section 2. So if section A must always supersede, but what if section A is a conditional of section 2, which then would make section 2 invalid, then would make B and C and D invalid. Same thing happened in section 3. Same thing happened in section 4, but ironically, in section 6, they went to subcounts, to Roman letters. So there's a lot of inconsistencies. It's very clear that there's a lot of inconsistencies. And why is this important? Because when they say things like this, when they do things like this, it proves that our administration doesn't understand how things works. And literally, he doesn't understand physical things you can physically see and feel with your eyes. Climate change, right? This is scientifically proven. We're seeing catastrophic situations happen in more regularities, no matter how you want to look at it. It's here and it's happening. But even as he walks through the valley of ashes here in this image, he doesn't believe his eyes. He believes that there's some rare fish, a magikarp up in the north of California, that they want to preserve over lives and property. And it doesn't matter that he doesn't understand it. The confusion and the chum that he throws into the lake when he says he's not going to give California federal funding is proof, right? But it's all part of it, right? But then we take a closer look at the executive orders he is signing as it pertains to artificial intelligence, and how he is being a lot more liberal, dare I say, mischievous with artificial intelligence. Trump signs an executive order developing artificial intelligence free from ideological bias. That word in itself is so vague. What does it mean? We don't know what it means, but we can tell you the first thing in the order. It was to remove all Biden-era existence. The new order doesn't name which existing policies are hindering AI development, but sets out to track down and review all policies, directives, regulation orders, and other actions taken as a result of the former president, Joe Biden, sweeping AI executive order of 2023, which Trump rescinded Monday. Any of those Biden-era actions must be suspended if they don't fit Trump's new directive. Promote human flourishing, economic competitiveness, and national security. It's diabolical what he's doing here. Because for all you guys don't know, that he's basically given a bunch of federal workers the option of resigning for 8 months and getting 8 months salary, or being forced out. And it's kind of crazy because he'll say, I'm going to look up the clip. Because it's worth it.
That if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard.
Absolutely.
They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated.
So he's clearly a psychopath, right? But the thing about it is, they'll never admit that, you know, they're part of the problem, right? They'll never admit that they're part of the problem. Right here, this is a map. This is a graph of all the times Trump, Donnie, DJT, in his first run at the plate, went to a golf club. 2017, 87 days. That's it. That was his first year in office. He had more vacation days than you had in 4 years. He had more vacation days in 1 year. 4 years of your life working, you've never had 87 days of vacation. He did that first try. Second year, 67. Third year, 84. He was batting for best. And on his way out, we didn't even get to it. The end, November 8, 2028, he had hit 47. Reckon to say his last few days, he might have had a few out the door before inauguration, right? Now, in all fairness, when he visited those golf clubs, he wasn't always technically golfing, right? He wasn't always golfing. But 142 times he was, which is over a third of a year. And he spent $142 million of your tax-paying dollars. So every time your eggs and your gas prices went up, you could thank Trump for that. You could, easily. So it's rich that he wants to, take out federal workers. But why does he want to take out the federal workers? It's not for the money. Well, it is money motivated. But he wants to take them out not because he doesn't like them, but it's because I think he thinks he can replace them. The White House issues new rules on how the government can use AI. This was back in 2024. Joe Biden, in his melting ice cream brain, did come to the realization that AI is dangerous, and it being integrated into government issues and affairs might cause a backlash wave we are not prepared for. So he created guidance to agencies, tries to strike a balance between managing risk of artificial intelligence and encouraging innovation. It also requires each agency appoint a chief artificial intelligence officer, a senior role that will oversee implementation of AI. And it outlines how the government is trying to grow the workforce focused on AI, including by hiring 100 professionals in the field by this summer. And it's because he wanted to make sure that it was being used appropriately. He wanted to make sure it was being used appropriately. Because I believe the Trump administration, who has just removed this provision, wants to replace the workers with the chatbots of all the CEOs that were lined up at his inauguration. Sam Altman, Google, Facebook. All of them have been recently talking about how their chatbots now all of a sudden magically can perform independently. You didn't catch that news? I'm still tripped out we found that GitHub AI. Microsoft AI bot can pick up office workers' tedious task. Here goes Google's Gemini saying it can do it now all of a sudden. Cloud AI is capable of doing tasks in offices. Copilot can mimic every movement ever made on a Microsoft device. Oh, that's funny. Copilot plus PC. That whole entire premise of that is that it records everything you do on the computer. And what if you had someone who's been working at an industry for 20 years, who works on your laptop, you just record what they do for the last few months, or ask them to do said task, and then just make the robot repeat it. It's literally too late and it's over at the same time. So this is a whimsical road that I just took you guys down. And yeah, I might be reaching, but during this journey, we found a repository that is already trying to emulate the rules and regulations in a Docker file to try and recreate Project 2025 with a chatbot. We've already seen Trump rescinding orders that would make it possible for chatbots to replace federal employees. We've also seen a welcomed increase of regulated, unregulated, and unmitigated disasters of AI-ridden executive order bills to cause confusion, while this undermining underbelly government is literally taking the money from corporate America, Silicon Valley, and literally getting ready to, it's polishing that shit up to fuck us. So, while we're not a political channel, I hope you guys can appreciate the deep dive that I did here for you. A like, a share, subscribe goes a long way. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you see an issue with AI being introduced into our government? Do you think that the government will run better with AI? Who am I kidding? AI can't even write a simple script. We're fucked. See you guys. All right, bye.